Do you feel like your past is shackling you, making it hard to move forward? Maybe you've been trapped by regrets, mistakes, or failures that make you feel stuck, like you're not capable of something better. But let me make something clear. Your past is not your future. It's time to stop letting those past experiences define who you are today. This is your chance to leave behind what's been holding you back and finally start rebuilding yourself stronger, wiser, and more focused. Today, we're not just talking about motivation, we're laying the foundation for a true transformation. If you're ready to let go of the chains of your past and step into the life you deserve, then let's get started. This is your moment, and we're going to build the mindset and actions that will guide you toward a limitless future. We all have moments in our lives when we feel like we are stuck in the shadow of our past. Maybe it's the regret of a failed relationship, a missed opportunity, or a past mistake that still weighs heavy on your heart. The truth is, we often let those experiences shape how we see ourselves today. We see ourselves through the lens of our past failures and think, I'm not good enough. I've already messed up. But here's the hard truth. What happened back then doesn't have to determine who you are now. Your past doesn't define you, but it is shaping your present if you let it. If you keep carrying those old stories around with you, they will continue to influence your choices and actions. But when you start to let go of the past, you can free yourself to build a better future. It's time to challenge the way you've been looking at yourself and start rewriting the narrative. You are not your mistakes, you are the lessons you've learned from them, and it's those lessons that can fuel your growth. We all carry around stories that we've built about our past, stories that often limit us. I'm not worthy of success, I can't change, I'll never be able to do that. These stories don't come from nowhere. They are shaped by our past experiences, and sometimes they feel true because we've been telling them to ourselves for so long. But let me tell you something, these stories are just that, stories. They are not the truth. The moment you challenge these limiting beliefs is the moment you take control of your life. You are the author of your own story, and you can rewrite it at any time. Take a minute right now to think about the stories you've been telling yourself. Do they serve you, or are they keeping you stuck in a cycle of fear and doubt? The power to change your story lies within you. When you stop identifying with your past mistakes and start seeing them as lessons, you'll realize just how much control you truly have over your future. The hardest part is often shifting your perspective. It's easy to get trapped in regret and see your past as a burden. But what if you could reframe it? What if you could look at your past not as a series of failures, but as lessons that have shaped you into the person you are today? The truth is, every setback, every challenge, and every failure has a lesson. It's only when we stop seeing ourselves as victims of our past that we can start viewing those experiences as stepping stones to greater success. The sooner you embrace the idea that you're not defined by what happened to you, the sooner you'll be able to use those experiences as fuel for your future. So how do you start? You start by changing the way you think about your past. Instead of seeing it as something that holds you back, start seeing it as something that has prepared you for where you are now. Your history isn't a weight, it's a tool. Every single experience you've had, good or bad, has brought you to this point. It has given you the strength, the wisdom, and the resilience to keep moving forward. And while your past can't be erased, it can be used as a powerful tool to fuel your future. It's time to let go of the old emotions, the old stories, and the old limitations. Let them go so you can make room for the new version of yourself. One that is stronger, wiser, and ready to take on whatever comes next. It's time to step out of the shadow of your past and into the light of your future. And the first step in doing that is realizing that your past is not a chain, it's just a chapter. It doesn't get to define you, you do. Now that we've acknowledged how our past shapes us, let's talk about how to start rebuilding your foundation. The first step in rebuilding is acceptance. We often think we need to change everything at once, but the truth is, you can't move forward until you accept where you've been. The power of acceptance lies in acknowledging that your past is a part of you, but it doesn't have to control you. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the sum of your decisions from this moment forward. When you accept where you've been, you free yourself to step into the person you're becoming. Without this acceptance, you'll keep fighting your past, and that will only hold you back. Accepting your past is not about forgiving what happened to you, it's about understanding that it's a part of your journey, not the end of it. But it's not just about acceptance, it's also about forgiveness. Forgiving yourself is one of the most powerful steps you can take in the rebuilding process. We often carry guilt and shame over past mistakes, but those emotions only weigh us down. When you forgive yourself, you release that burden. You give yourself permission to move on. Let me tell you something, holding on to guilt doesn't punish the people who hurt you. It punishes you. Forgiveness is the key to freeing yourself from the past. And here's the thing, if you don't forgive yourself, you'll never fully step into the new you. So how do you forgive yourself? You start by letting go of the should-haves and the could-haves. You start by accepting that you did the best you could with the knowledge and resources you had at the time. You are not your mistakes. Once you embrace self-forgiveness, you free yourself to create a new reality. One of the most important elements in rebuilding is understanding your self-worth. The way you see yourself affects everything. If you think you're not worthy of success or happiness, then you won't go after it. Your perception of yourself dictates your actions. If you see yourself as unworthy, You'll make choices that reflect that belief. But when you build a strong sense of self-worth, you'll start to act in ways that reflect your potential. Self-worth is not about being perfect. It's about recognizing that you deserve a better life because you do. Building a healthy self-image takes time, but it starts with small actions. Every time you choose to act from a place of self-love, you reinforce your worth. When you build that foundation, you build a life that aligns with your highest potential. So now we're ready to get into the next phase: action. Rebuilding your life is not just about thinking differently, it's about acting differently. Thoughts are powerful, but actions are what bring those thoughts to life. If you've been stuck in the thought phase for too long, it's time to take that first step. Start with small actions. Take those thoughts you've been holding on to and turn them into something real. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about making one decision, taking one step, and trusting that the next step will reveal itself as you move forward. Action is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. If you want to rebuild, you have to move beyond just thinking and start doing. As you take those actions, remember the small actions lead to big results. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. But let me tell you something, consistency is key. Progress is built by showing up every day, even when it feels hard, even when you don't see the fruits of your labor right away. Every small step, every small choice you make adds up. Over time, these small actions will compound into massive progress. But consistency isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. You will mess up. You will have setbacks. But if you keep showing up, you will see results. So here's what I want you to remember. You have the power to rebuild your life, starting today. Your past is not a chain that keeps you stuck. It's the fuel that powers your future. And every step you take from here on out is a step toward the person you were always meant to be. The journey of rebuilding is not easy, but it is worth it. Every action you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to your goals. So stop waiting. The time to start is now. Let's get to work. Your future is waiting for you. Have you ever found yourself defined by your past, by mistakes, failures, or moments you wish you could undo? Have you allowed these past experiences to shape how you see yourself today? I know how easy it is to feel stuck in that narrative, trapped by the weight of what's already happened. But let me tell you something, you are not your past. You are what you choose to be moving forward. You have the power to change your story and reclaim your life. Today, we're going to break down the barriers that have been holding you back and rebuild your mindset. This isn't just about motivation. It's about giving you real, actionable tools to rewrite your identity, turn your struggles into strength, and step into a future that's waiting for you. So let's dive in and start the journey to a better, more powerful you. Many people mistakenly attach their past to their present identity. They think that because they failed once or suffered from hardship, that's who they are forever. The truth is, your past doesn't define you. The mistakes you've made, the struggles you've faced, none of that is a reflection of your potential. It's easy to believe that past traumas or failures are permanent scars. But the moment you start letting them dictate who you are today is the moment you hand over your power. No matter what you've been through, you can choose to break free from that old version of yourself. It's time to reject the false identities you've held onto. Those stories that say you're not capable, you're not good enough. You are not your failures, and you are not your pain. You are the sum of what you choose to become next. We all have these internal stories, right? The I'm not good enough, the I'll never be successful, voices that play over and over in our heads. These stories shape how we see ourselves, how we make decisions, and how we approach challenges. The problem is, these stories are often lies. They're limiting beliefs, and they hold us back. The failure story keeps us in the past, locked in a cycle of fear and self-doubt. But what if you rewrote that narrative? What if you stopped seeing yourself as a victim and started seeing yourself as a victor? Every time you catch yourself thinking something negative, stop. Challenge it. Ask yourself, is this really who I am? And then replace it with something empowering. I am learning. I am growing. I am capable of more than I've done before. You are the author of your story. It's time to write a new chapter. Your past is not the measure of your potential. Too often, we look at our past mistakes, failures, or missteps and believe that's all we're capable of. But here's the reality. Your past is simply a collection of events. Your potential, on the other hand, is limitless. Focusing on your past keeps you stuck, looking backwards. But the future, that's where your potential lies. You can make new decisions, take new actions, and create a future that is in no way determined by your history. The moment you stop measuring yourself against the past and start focusing on what you're capable of achieving right now, you unlock the door to endless opportunities. Believe that you are more than the sum of your past mistakes. The path ahead is where your true potential lives. Regret, it's one of the heaviest burdens we carry, isn't it? The weight of looking back and wishing we could undo what's been done. But here's the thing, regret doesn't serve you. Holding on to regret keeps you trapped in the past, replaying mistakes and what-ifs over and over. That kind of thinking is a cycle, and it's keeping you from moving forward. The emotional cost of regret is high. It drains your energy and locks you in a place of stagnation. But you can release it. You can choose to let go of that weight. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Start by forgiving yourself. Understand that you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Then choose to move forward. Every day you hold on to regret is a day you're robbing from your future. Let it go. Free yourself. Your past doesn't have to be a burden. In fact, with the right perspective, it can be the very fuel that propels you forward. Think about it. Every failure, every struggle, every challenge you faced has taught you something. It's given you resilience. It's shown you what you're made of. Instead of letting your past weigh you down, start seeing it as a source of power. Those failures, they're lessons in disguise. The hardship you've endured, it's given you strength you didn't know you had. Shifting your perspective from seeing your past as a burden to seeing it as a stepping stone can change everything. Embrace the lessons, and you'll find that what once held you back is now the very thing that drives you forward. Embrace a growth mindset, and you will start to see every challenge as an opportunity for greater success. Have you ever felt like you're trapped in the same place, unable to move forward? Maybe you've tried to change but keep falling back into old patterns. I get it, we've all been there. But let me ask you something. What if today, right now, could be the start of something different? What if the key to breaking free from your past lies in rebuilding the foundation you're standing on? In this speech, I'm going to guide you through the exact steps to transform your life, break free from your past, and start building a future you're proud of. This isn't about wishful thinking. This is about taking control of your life and creating lasting change, one choice at a time. You ready? Let's dive in. True transformation begins with acceptance. You can't move forward until you first accept where you are, who you are, and how you got here. I know that's tough, especially when your past holds pain or regret. But here's the truth. Your past isn't something to fight against. It's part of who you are. The mistakes, the setbacks, they've all led you to this point. Accepting them doesn't mean you're giving up or settling. It means you're standing firm in reality with the strength to move forward. When you embrace who you were, you create a stronger foundation for who you will become. Accepting your journey allows you to build on it instead of running from it. If you want to change, you first need to say, this is where I've been, and it's okay. That's where everything starts. Resistance keeps you stuck. I know how easy it is to hold on to pain, to cling to mistakes, to keep replaying regrets over and over in your mind. It feels familiar, even though it doesn't serve you. But when you resist the past, when you keep trying to outrun it, all you're doing is keeping it alive. You stay trapped in the same negative cycles. It's time to stop fighting the past and start making peace with it. Accept that what's done is done. Learn from it. And let it go. Letting go doesn't mean you forget. It means you stop allowing those past mistakes to control your present. Peace comes when you realize that the past is simply information, not a life sentence. Release your resistance and allow yourself the space to heal. Guilt, shame, and anger, these emotions are like chains that hold you back. They may feel justified, but they're only holding you captive. If you want to break free, you have to release these feelings. Guilt makes you feel like you're not worthy of moving forward. Shame tells you that you're fundamentally flawed. Anger keeps you locked in a cycle of bitterness and regret. If you want to move forward, you need to process these emotions and let them go. I know it's hard, but it's necessary. Start by forgiving yourself. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Then release the anger. It's not serving you, and it's only hurting your future. Guilt, shame, and anger are the weights that hold you down. Let them go. Free yourself. Forgiveness is a powerful tool, and it's something you need to embrace if you want to move forward. But let me be clear, forgiveness doesn't mean excusing the wrongs that have been done to you. Forgiveness is about setting yourself free. Holding on to grudges keeps you chained to your past. But forgiving someone doesn't mean you're saying what they did was okay. You're saying, I won't carry this burden anymore. Forgiving yourself is just as important. You've made mistakes, and that's okay. Now it's time to let go of the guilt. Give yourself permission to move forward. If you want freedom, you must forgive. Release the weight of past wrongs and choose to step into your future with a clean slate. Habits are the building blocks of your life. Every action, no matter how small, shapes your future. The key to transformation lies in the small, daily choices you make. You don't need to change everything overnight. You need to start with one habit, one action that will move you toward your goals. It could be as simple as waking up 30 minutes earlier, making your bed every morning, or reading for just 10 minutes a day. These small actions, over time, compound into big changes. Start small, but start today. The habits you form now will define your future. Don't underestimate the power of small steps. Every step forward is a step in the right direction. Consistency is the magic ingredient in lasting change. It's not about doing something big once. It's about doing something small, over and over again, day in and day out. When you stay consistent, you're stacking up wins. And those small wins, they add up, they build momentum. You might not see huge changes overnight, but don't get discouraged. The real magic of change happens in the quiet moments, the times when you show up, even when you don't feel like it. Keep going, stay committed. You'll be amazed at how far you can go by sticking with it, even through the tough times. The key is showing up every day for yourself. Consistency turns small actions into massive growth. Your mindset is everything. If you have a fixed mindset, you're telling yourself that who you are right now is all you can ever be. But a growth mindset says something different. It says, I can change, I can improve, I am capable of more. A growth mindset unlocks your potential. It lets you see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. If you want to break free from your past and build a new future, you have to shift how you think. Start seeing challenges as lessons, not obstacles. Every time you encounter difficulty, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Shift your mindset from fixed to growth, and you'll unlock doors you didn't even know existed. The change you seek starts in your mind. Change how you think, and everything else will follow. Have you ever felt that knot in your stomach? The fear, the doubt, the uncertainty about what comes next? You're not alone. We've all been there, standing at the edge, terrified to take the leap. But here's the thing, fear doesn't have to stop you. In fact, it's often a sign that you're about to grow. The question isn't how to avoid fear, but how to use it to propel yourself forward. Today, I'm going to show you how fear and doubt don't have to be obstacles. They can be your greatest motivators. What if, instead of running from fear, you ran toward it? Imagine what you could accomplish if you stopped letting fear dictate your life. Let's dive into how to confront these feelings, embrace the discomfort, and turn them into the driving force behind your success. Get ready to break through the fear and doubt standing in your way. Fear is natural. Everyone experiences it, but it doesn't have to control you. Fear is often a sign that you're on the verge of something big. Think about it when you push yourself to do something new, something bigger than you've done before. Fear shows up. That's because fear is part of growth. It's a signal that you're stretching beyond your limits. But here's the key. There's a difference between healthy fear and destructive fear. Healthy fear pushes you to take caution, to be mindful. Destructive fear, on the other hand, keeps you stuck, prevents you from moving forward. Recognize the difference. Healthy fear is something you can use to your advantage. Use it as fuel. Let it motivate you to rise to the occasion. When you face fear head-on, it loses its power over you. Fear is normal, but it should never control you. Change always triggers fear. It's part of the process. The more you step into the unknown, the more fear will show up. But don't be fooled, this isn't a bad thing. Fear and growth go hand in hand. Think about the times you've stepped out of your comfort zone and felt that rush of anxiety or uncertainty. That's a sign that you're growing, that you're moving towards something better. Instead of shying away from fear, embrace it. Reframe it as an indicator that you're on the right path. Fear means you're challenging yourself. Fear means you're evolving. The magic of growth happens when you lean into discomfort. So the next time fear shows up, don't retreat. Step forward. Lean into the fear, because that's where your transformation begins. The problem with fear is that we often avoid it. We think that if we can just keep it at bay, we'll be safe. But here's the truth. Avoiding fear limits your potential. You can't grow if you stay within the boundaries of what's comfortable. Instead, use fear to fuel your actions. When you feel that tightness in your chest, that hesitation in your mind, use it, let it drive you to take action. Fear is energy. It's your body telling you this matters. So instead of running away, move toward it. Turn your fear into motivation. When you start using fear as fuel, you'll realize just how much power you've been sitting on. Fear doesn't have to hold you back. It can launch you forward. Self-doubt is another enemy we all face. It whispers, you're not good enough. You'll never make it. Look at everyone else. They have it all together. But here's the truth. Self-doubt is a feeling, not a fact. It's temporary. It's not who you are, it's just what you're feeling right now. Self-doubt comes from comparing yourself to others or dwelling on past failures. But when you do that, you're measuring your progress against a false yardstick. Your only competition is you. The key is to trust yourself. You've got the skills, the knowledge, the power to move forward. Don't let the voice of self-doubt dictate your actions. Challenge it, quiet it, and trust that you are capable, regardless of the fear or uncertainty you feel. Silencing the inner critic is a skill you must learn if you want to break free from self-doubt. That voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, that you can't do it, that you'll never succeed, it's lying to you. To silence this inner critic, start by replacing those negative thoughts with positive affirmations. Visualize yourself succeeding. Every time the critic shows up, take action. It's hard for the voice of doubt to be loud when you're actively proving it wrong. Start small. Make progress, no matter how minor it seems. The more you move forward, the quieter the doubt becomes. Remember, self-doubt is just a feeling. Action will always silence it. Your comfort zone is a prison for your potential. It feels safe, but it's also limiting. The truth is, nothing extraordinary ever happens within the walls of comfort. Growth happens when you step outside, when you embrace the unknown, It's uncomfortable, yes, but that discomfort is the spark that fuels your transformation. Every time you take a step outside your comfort zone, you're opening yourself up to new possibilities, new opportunities. Real people, successful people, are those who have learned to lean into discomfort. They know that the magic happens on the other side of fear. So stop holding yourself back. Step into the unknown. Embrace discomfort. It's your gateway to becoming the person you're meant to be. Taking the first step is always the hardest. Fear has a way of convincing you that you're not ready, that the time isn't right, that it's safer to stay where you are. But here's the truth. The first step doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be taken. Every journey starts with that one small, imperfect action. And once you take that first step, the next one gets easier. So start now. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it doesn't exist. Take one small action. Break through your fear. That's how change begins. One step at a time. Don't let fear paralyze you. Let it propel you forward. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in the same place? Frustrated by your lack of progress? Maybe you've been waiting for that big breakthrough, thinking that success will come overnight, but I'm here to tell you that's not how it works. Real change happens in small steps. One decision, one action at a time. The journey to success isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making consistent decisions every day, no matter how small they seem. Today, I'm going to show you how breaking things down into manageable steps can completely transform your life. If you're ready to start, let's begin by understanding the power of small steps. The truth is, one small step can lay the foundation for monumental change. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be taken. Every successful journey begins with that first decision, that first action. You don't need to have everything figured out right away, you just need to commit to moving forward. The key is consistency. Success doesn't require perfection, it requires progress. When you break your goals into smaller, more manageable steps, you avoid feeling overwhelmed, and you create the momentum that drives lasting change. The more small steps you take, the more confidence you build, and the closer you get to your goal. So, take that first step today. It doesn't need to be huge, just move. That's all it takes to start the journey. Small actions, repeated consistently, are more powerful than trying to make huge leaps. Think about compounding interest. Small amounts add up over time and lead to significant results. That's how consistency works. When you break down your big goals into smaller tasks, you make them feel achievable. It's not about doing everything at once, it's about consistently moving forward, step by step. When you focus on one thing at a time and give it your full effort, you're building momentum. Over time, those small actions add up, and before you know it, you've made massive progress. The power of small actions can't be underestimated. It's the secret to long-term success. Real-life examples of successful people show us how small habits, when repeated, lead to extraordinary results. So don't underestimate the power of your daily actions. Each small decision you make brings you closer to your dreams. Multitasking might seem like a good idea, but it's actually one of the biggest distractions on the road to success. Focusing on too many things at once dilutes your energy and prevents you from fully committing to any one goal. If you want to accelerate your progress, focus on one thing at a time. Quality over quantity. When you focus on one task, one goal, you pour all of your energy into it. You eliminate distractions and give yourself the best chance of success. Focusing on one thing allows you to build deeper skills, gain more experience, and make faster progress. You can achieve more by focusing on less. So make it a point to focus on your next step, not a million things at once. Take one task, give it your all, and complete it before moving on. That's how you move forward faster. Success is not a leap. It's a series of small, purposeful steps. Forget the myth of overnight success. It doesn't exist. Real success is the result of consistent, incremental actions. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and making progress. There will be no instant transformation, no magic moment. But when you embrace the journey, when you understand that success is built over time, you free yourself from the pressure of needing things to happen all at once. Instead, you focus on taking one step after another, and before you know it, you made tremendous progress. Stay focused on the journey. It's the small, purposeful steps that will lead you to success. No one can rebuild alone. The journey to success is never meant to be solitary. You need a support system to help you through the tough times, to encourage you and to hold you accountable. But it's not just about being surrounded by people, it's about being surrounded by the right people. You need to identify those who will lift you up, challenge you, and remind you of your strength when you feel like giving up. A strong support system can make all the difference, especially during difficult times. These people can help you stay on track, encourage you to keep going, and celebrate your successes with you. Don't try to do it all alone. Build a network of people who will help you grow. Toxic relationships can derail your progress and stunt your growth. These are the people who drain your energy, hold you back, and reinforce your self-doubt. It's time to let them go. You deserve to be surrounded by people who believe in you, who push you to be your best. Identify those toxic influences and distance yourself from them. It's not always easy, but cutting ties with negativity is one of the most important steps you can take in your journey toward growth. Make space for the people who inspire you, who support your vision, and who encourage your growth. Let go of the relationships that hold you back and make room for the ones that propel you forward. Mentors, coaches, and communities are crucial to your growth. They offer guidance, support, and accountability. Finding someone who has walked the path you're on can save you years of trial and error. Mentors can help you avoid mistakes, offer wisdom, and challenge you to grow. Similarly, being part of a supportive community can provide you with the encouragement and motivation to keep going, especially on days when you feel like giving up. Surround yourself with people who are ahead of you, who inspire you, and who hold you accountable for your goals. Their belief in you can be the fuel you need to keep pushing forward. Tracking progress is essential to making sure you're moving in the right direction. You can't improve what you don't measure. Keeping track of your goals, milestones, and setbacks helps you stay focused and adjust when necessary. Simple tools like journals, apps, or spreadsheets can help you visualize your progress and keep you accountable. Reflection is key. When you track your progress, you can celebrate your wins and learn from your setbacks. It helps you stay motivated and reinforces the idea that you are making progress no matter how small. So make it a habit to track your progress regularly. It's the best way to ensure you stay on course. Reflection is one of the most powerful tools for growth. When you take time to look back on your journey, you can appreciate how far you've come and identify areas for improvement. Celebrating small wins along the way is essential to maintaining momentum. Every step forward, no matter how small, deserves recognition. When you reflect on your progress, you keep your motivation high and remind yourself why you started in the first place. Reflection helps you adjust, realign your goals, and continue moving forward. So take a moment each week to reflect. Celebrate your wins, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. It's how you maintain your momentum and continue progressing toward your ultimate goal. Have you ever hit a wall, felt like everything you've worked for was slipping away, or doubted whether it's even worth pushing forward? You're not alone. Everyone faces setbacks. But let me tell you something, setbacks aren't the end, they're a part of the journey. Every successful person you admire has faced failure, disappointment, and frustration. The key difference between those who succeed and those who give up is how they respond to those setbacks. Today, I'm going to show you how to turn your setbacks into stepping stones, how to stay resilient, and how to use your challenges to fuel your progress. This isn't about avoiding failure, it's about embracing it and using it to propel you forward. Stick with me because what you're about to hear could change how you approach your struggles and your success. Setbacks are inevitable. They're not a sign that you're on the wrong path. They're part of the process. Think about it. No one who has ever achieved something meaningful did so without facing some sort of challenge. Whether it's a missed opportunity, a failed attempt, or an unexpected roadblock, setbacks will always be there. But here's the thing, they're not permanent. They're temporary detours, not dead ends. When you see setbacks as part of the journey, your mindset shifts. Instead of feeling defeated, you'll see each setback as a necessary step toward your goal. It's the way you respond to setbacks that will determine whether you rise or stay down. Keep going, because every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger. Now let's talk about the difference between a setback and a failure. A setback isn't a failure. Failure is when you stop trying. A setback is simply a delay, a bump in the road. Every time you face a challenge, there's a lesson in it. The real failure comes when you quit. Setbacks are opportunities to refine your approach, to learn, and to come back stronger. Just look at the stories of people who overcame massive setbacks. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. J.K. Rowling faced rejection after rejection before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Their setbacks didn't stop them. They used those challenges as fuel to keep going. Every setback is an invitation to learn something new. If you see it that way, nothing can truly defeat you. Staying committed to the process is what separates those who succeed from those who give up too soon. It's easy to stay motivated when things are going well, but what about when progress feels slow or invisible? That's when commitment becomes your greatest ally. The journey will never be linear. There will be days when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. Those are the moments that test your resolve. But commitment doesn't mean seeing immediate results. It means sticking with the process even when it's hard, even when you can't see the end. Progress isn't always visible, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. The key is to stay committed, no matter how tough things get. It's about focusing on the long-term rewards instead of getting discouraged by short-term obstacles. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Resilience is the mental toughness that allows you to keep going when everything inside you is telling you to quit. It's about developing the ability to stay strong in the face of adversity. Resilience doesn't mean never feeling down or never experiencing doubts. It means knowing how to get back up when you fall. It's about training your mind to stay focused, disciplined, and positive, no matter the circumstances. Every successful person you admire has had to build resilience. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first job as a TV anchor. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. They didn't quit, They bounce back stronger and more determined. You can do the same. Resilience is built through daily practice, through facing adversity head-on, learning from it, and using it as fuel to move forward. Persistence is the key to success. It's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get back up. It's about refusing to let setbacks define you. When you keep going, even when things seem impossible, that's when success happens. Success isn't defined by how quickly you get there or how many setbacks you face along the way. It's defined by how many times you stand up after each fall. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is persistence. When you feel like giving up, remember that persistence is the difference between those who reach their goals and those who quit. Keep pushing, keep working, and keep fighting for your dream. Success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, and the finish line is worth every step you take. What if you could turn every setback into fuel for your success? What if every challenge, every obstacle could push you forward instead of holding you back? The truth is, you can. It's all about shifting your focus. Instead of seeing setbacks as defeats, use them as opportunities. Every setback holds within it the energy of frustration, disappointment, and challenge. Use that energy to drive your actions. Let the setbacks motivate you to work harder, to push further, to do more. Don't let your challenges break you. Let them strengthen you. Every successful person has faced adversity, but what sets them apart is how they used it to propel themselves forward. Your setbacks are not the end of the road, they're the beginning of your next step forward. The secret to long-term success? Never quitting. Success isn't about being the fastest or the smartest. It's about being the one who refuses to quit. Persistence is what keeps you moving forward, even when everything else tells you to stop. If you quit, you'll never know what you could have achieved. If you keep going, even through the toughest times, success will find you. The most successful people in the world are the ones who kept going when everyone else gave up. They didn't quit when things got hard, they stayed in the fight. They stayed focused on the end goal, and eventually they reached it. Remember this, the ability to keep going is the key to sustaining success. Your persistence is what will carry you through to the other side. Keep moving forward, no matter how difficult the road may seem. Success will come to those who never quit. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in the same place, weighed down by your past or by the person you used to be? Maybe you've tried to change before but found yourself back where you started, unsure how to move forward. I'm here to tell you this, the person you are becoming is more powerful than you realize. You don't need to stay trapped in the version of yourself that you've outgrown. The path to your transformation starts today. In this speech, I'm going to show you how to step fully into the new version of yourself. We'll tackle the doubts, fears, and obstacles that stand in your way, and I'll give you the tools to become the unstoppable force you were always meant to be. This isn't about wishing for change, it's about making it happen. Stay with me because what you're about to hear could be the breakthrough you've been waiting for. The person you are becoming is stronger, wiser, and more powerful than anything you've been through. It's time to stop looking back at the person you used to be and start fully stepping into who you are now. Change is hard and it takes time, but you've already started. The new version of yourself is here and it's time to embrace it. Don't hold back. Don't let doubt or fear stop you. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the old version of yourself. You've worked hard to get here. You've faced challenges, grown, and learned. Now it's time to leave behind the doubts, the fears, the insecurities that once held you back. Step fully into your new identity. You're not the same person you were yesterday, and that's something to celebrate. The power to shape your life is in your hands. Let go of the doubts that still cling to you. The fear of judgment, the fear of what others will think, is holding you back. You don't need their approval to succeed. It's time to stop caring about what others think and start living for yourself. The only opinion that matters is yours. There will always be an inner critic, that voice that tells you you're not good enough, that you can't make it. But you know what? That voice is a liar. It's not who you are. You are capable. You are worthy. You are enough. When you embrace self-acceptance, everything changes. Confidence comes from knowing who you are and owning it. Letting go of the need for approval is one of the most freeing things you can do. Your path forward is yours to create, and it starts with you trusting yourself. You are enough just as you are. Living with purpose means more than just getting by day after day. It means creating a vision for your future and aligning your actions with that vision. Rebuilding yourself isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about living with intention. When you live with purpose, every decision, every action, every step you take has meaning. Your purpose gives you direction. It gives you the strength to keep going even when things get tough. Without purpose, you're drifting. But when you know where you're going, nothing can stand in your way. It's what will keep you focused when challenges arise and remind you why you started in the first place. Rebuilding yourself isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. And that person lives with purpose. Your past no longer defines you. The person you were yesterday has no hold on who you are today, and it certainly won't control who you'll become tomorrow. You have the power to rewrite your story. Today marks the beginning of your new chapter. You're not a prisoner to your past, and you don't have to let old mistakes or regrets dictate your future. The choice to rebuild, to rise, and to create the life you want is in your hands. But you have to take action. You have to believe that you are worthy of a new beginning. No one can do this for you. The only person who can truly change your life is you. So stop waiting. The strength to rewrite your story is already within you. Take control. This is your time to build the future you've always wanted. Waiting for the perfect moment is a trap. The time to rebuild your life is now. Don't put off your dreams or your goals any longer. The perfect time doesn't exist. What exists is the present moment, and this is where change happens. Your future is waiting for you, but it's up to you to take the first step. You have the power to create the life you want, but it won't happen if you keep waiting. The world needs the fully realized version of you. You are meant to make an impact, to live a life of purpose and fulfillment, but none of that will happen if you don't start right now. The time to take action is today. Start building the future you want, starting with the very next step. The path forward is waiting for you. Go take it.